So you think if the government knew someone had stolen your identity, they'd tell you about it, right? Wrong. A new Inspector General's report revealing the IRS failed to inform more than 1 million Americans that their Social Security numbers were stolen, some being used by illegal immigrant workers. So, Rich, I wonder what would happen if we didn't inform the IRS of critical information like that.
Well, you know, if you ran a publicly traded company and you didn't disclose a hack like this, you know, you would be liable. You'd have shareholder lawsuits all over the place. This just proves that in addition to the IRS being the bullying, incompetent organization it has always been, it is now corrupt in a way that is just mind-boggling, from targeting political enemies to now this.
Yeah, and Bill, in the private sector, we already have an example. Target was being hacked, and they didn't do the due diligence of informing their clients, at least according to the government. A lot of people suffered as a result of that in Target.
I still support the IRS, and here's why. 10 hardworking immigrants get jobs by using Rich's Social Security number. At that point, the IRS assigns temporary ID numbers to each of the 10. Rich's earnings history is not disturbed. Rich, how are you harmed?
What do you think of that, Mike?
Well, I think that basically what's happening here is the IRS is spending more and more taxpayer money on trying to catch these identity theft crooks without much success. In 2013, they paid out $5.8 billion worth of fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft. I think what would go a long way was if they stopped paying refunds using prepaid debit counts. The crooks use that because it helps them from getting caught with great success.
But just in terms of our own safety, Bruce, I mean, in terms of what we have a right to know as taxpayers, one would assume we have the right to know if somebody's stolen our ID.
Well, I mean, I read this report, and they said that they'll be notifying people in January, and understand that's not prompt. But one of the reasons why they did not go after people right away is because they want to make sure and try to get these folks, you know, who are trying to avoid taxes to pay taxes. And I think this could be solved with a comprehensive immigration bill to give these people some kind of an ID so they're paying taxes.
Well, that might solve a piece of the problem, but the main piece, Sabrina, the fact that they're not informing people when their IDs have been stolen. By the way, they have, as Bruce suggested, they did come out with this response. I'll read it from the IRS. They stated that it has scheduled programming changes that will be implemented in January 2017 to notify taxpayers when the IRS has reason to believe that they may be the victims of identity theft. But frankly, I don't have much hope in them fulfilling that promise.
No, so that's 6 months away, David.
Yeah.
You know, since Steve isn't here today, I'm just going to sort of throw it out there that maybe one solution to this is having a flat tax, getting rid of the IRS, and simplifying things all over the place. That being said, I do think that the IRS does need to notify people. You know, someone using your Social Security number to get a job is the least of your problems if you have identity theft. It can extend all the way to your health records and all sorts of other problems. So I think that this is really fraudulent and can't wait until January.
And Rich, we're not talking about a small amount of people. There's 1 million people. Yeah. There does seem to be this idea that we are the slaves of the IRS. It's not the other way around, that they're supposed to be the public servants, but in this case, it's flipped.
Yeah, and they're blatantly political, too. The reason they don't disclose is that they know if they did, even if Bill Baldwin is right and there's no immediate harm, they know if they disclose this, it would turn even more people against this rampant immigration fraud we have in the United States. It would be bad for Hillary Clinton and good for Donald Trump.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Bill. This is a political issue right now. That's why they're waiting until 2017 to solve it.
Yeah.
Well, it may be a political issue, but I think it's a good thing that the IRS has figured out how to collect billions in taxes from hardworking immigrants.
All right, Mike, again, Bill doesn't think anybody's harmed. I'm harmed by it. I don't want my information being used by somebody else.
Of course, and you don't know where else besides the IRS your identity is going, David. Yeah. It's not just isolated to the IRS necessarily, but the problem is that the best cyberspace crooks aren't working for the IRS.
If I ever run for president, one issue, get rid of the IRS. That's the only thing I'm going to run on, get rid of the IRS. Rich has given me 2 thumbs up.
I'm voting for you.
All right, thank you very much. The Cash In Gang getting ready to roll at the bottom of the hour. Eric, what do you got?
Hey, David, Donald Trump says we should choose our immigrants based on their ability to financially be self self-sufficient? Is he right or wrong? Plus, he's still refusing to stand for the national anthem. Now military vets and police groups are throwing a flag at the NFL quarterback, Colin Kaepernick. See you 11:30.
Good stories. We will be watching. Thank you, Eric. But up here first, the CIA is investing your tax dollars in all kinds of James Bond-like security firms, private firms. They say it's to help protect us, but some here say it is crony capitalism. We debate, you decide. Coming next.